Good morning, everybody, and welcome to PhotoJoseph's Photo Moment, the first live daily show on Photo on YouTube every weekday morning, 9:30 a.m. Pacific, which means Monday's a holiday here in the U.S., so I'm not going to be here Monday. How you guys doing? Are you ready for some fun show today? We're going to have a good time because I'm playing with something that I've been wanting to get my hands on this for a while, the Mevo. This is really cool, and I got one on loan from our friends at Livestream Pros. If you missed that conversation, I was up in Portland area. I sat with the folks from Livestream Pros with Luria and David for, it's like a long show. It was like an hour and a half. I think we broke a new record. We'll link to that up here. It's actually already linked up there. That was a really good time hanging out with them and talking all about live streaming things. And one of the devices that they are keen on is this Mevo, which is a really fun little toy. We're going to get into all the details of this guy pretty soon here. So this is, of course, a live show. For those of you who are watching live, you are in the comments. And if you have a comment that you want me to address, you have a question you want me to respond to, make sure you type at PhotoJoseph in front of your question. If you don't do that, then I don't know. There's too much stuff going by. I don't know that you're trying to reach me. If you really, really want to get my attention, there is, of course, that super chat button. It's the button down on the bottom with a little dollar sign on it. You click that, you can throw a nickel into the tin, and that will put your question up on the screen nice and big and bold and for all to see, including me, for a longer period of time. So we'll make sure that I see it. If you have questions while we're going during the live show about the Mevo, throw them up there. If you've got questions that aren't related to the Mevo, save them until later if you can, and we'll come back for a part two for the commentary part of the show. So in the meantime, we've got a few people in here already this morning, and we are all set up for the split screen on the live chat. So as we get into that portion of it, we've got that all set and ready to go as well. Okay, let's do this thing. So the Mevo, what is this thing? So the Mevo, and this isn't a proper unboxing because I didn't get like a new, in a box one, but that's okay. This is the kit version of it. The kit version comes with a few extra things, but we're going to start with this. This is the Mevo. That's all there is to it. So what is the Mevo? The Mevo is a live streaming camera. Let's see if we can get this, I happen to get this in the right position. There we go. Look how small this thing is. It's like a tiny little, itty bitty little, tiny. It's a live streaming camera. This has, between this and your iPhone, and I think it is only iPhone. I don't think it's Android. I was looking at their website and it said with your iPhone. It didn't say Android. I could be wrong. Between this and your iPhone, this is all you need to go live. And it's more than just a camera, because you can obviously just go live with your iPhone and that's all you need. This is more than just a camera. It has this insanely cool interface where you can punch into the 4K signal that this thing captures and output a 1080p or even lower, but output up to a 1080p signal, taking a hole out of that 4K shot. So what that means is you can we'll have a wide shot, and we're going to see all this, don't worry. You have a wide shot, and then you go, okay, I want to close up on person one, close up on person two, close up on this thing, maybe wide, medium, wide shot. You can have all these different shots set up, and it's crazy cool the way it works, and you can switch between them, you can pan around it, you can zoom in and out, you can have live zooming and panning. It's so much fun. This came out over a year ago. I remember seeing it at NAB last year, so 2016. And I thought it was really cool, but it was only outputting 720p, and so I kind of went, yeah, no thanks. And I think at the time the audio was just the microphone on here, and yeah, didn't. But then they've made some upgrades. The device now does 1080p, as I mentioned. You can get your full quality audio, meaning off of a microphone, off of a soundboard, routed into either the iPhone itself, which is kind of ingenious the way it does all that, or you can route the audio into this newish accessory, the Boost. This is the Mevo Boost. So the Mevo Boost adds a ton of battery life. So this thing on its own gets about 1 hour of battery. This thing adds 10 hours of battery. That's a good chunk. So you could be out and about streaming for a good long period of time. Odds are your phone's going to run out of battery before this thing does. With that said, it's worth pointing out that this is charged by USB, so that means you could charge it in your car, you could charge it from a separate USB battery brick. There's any number of ways to charge it. So this does add a few other features to it. We'll talk about that. But if all you needed was extra battery power, you don't have to buy the Boost. You could just go out and buy any USB power battery supply and cable that into here, and off you go. So just something to keep in mind if you don't need the other features of the Boost. So let's see here. Let's start by taking a closer look at this device itself and take a look at what's in here. So you've got a very wide, I think it's at 150-degree field of view camera. Power button on the top. You'll see in a moment when we power it on, you get some cool funky lights on there. The back of this has your USB port for charging. That's all that is. And then a micro SD card slot, and it comes with a 16 gig little teeny tiny micro SD slot card there, so you can capture your show. And this captures the recorded show. So whatever camera angles you switch to, this captures to here. The boost, actually here, before we get to the boost, we got this, and then you got this little stand that it comes with. And this doesn't do much except add a tripod socket to the bottom and keeps it level. So you can see this is tilted up now. So this is ideal if you're going to use this. If I set this on the desk in front of me here, well, that's probably a little bit too close, but if I set it here, I'd get a wild field of view. I'd be kind of middle-ish of it. Streaming issues, man, fix it. Streaming issues suck. I think we will just, here, this is what we're gonna do so that we don't miss anything. I'm gonna wait until the streaming issues are done. And let's head over to the comments real quick and see what's going on here. Joshua says that Mevo has an early public beta for Android. Oh, awesome. That's very, very good to know. Thank you for sharing that with me, Joshua. That is good to know. Let's see here. I'm waiting for Ryan to tell me that the streaming, why is it going bad? That sucks. Let me see if it's, could it be here? Nope, I'm not backing up here. I know. Oh, I know. Stream seems okay. Oh, they're saying, see, the way we know it is because over here it says stream status bad. And it does. It says we're not receiving video data at a fast enough data rate. It doesn't even tell us how bad it is. It just tells us it's bad. And that's not good. That is definitely not good. Please confirm you guys are still, yeah, it dropped in quality and then went to crap. Is everything paused out there, Ryan?
Your backblaze is not even responding.
I thought you said it paused.
I thought it did too, and then I checked it once it said that, and it was giving me the pause thing.
Backblaze is trying to take over my internet stream. That's not good. Everybody's saying it seems fine, no issues here. Okay, everybody's saying it's good, Ryan, so we're going to keep going. Fingers crossed that things get better. Okay, sorry about that, folks. So this little stand is just here to level it out. So we put this thing on here, it levels out. Let me show you how this magnetically goes on because it's really kind of cool. So you got this little stand here. This will magnetically kind of slap into place. Okay, that kind of missed, but there we go. Magnets into place, but then you can lock it so that it's nice and secure, which you really want to do if you're going to use this on the bottom. So this is a tripod socket, but this is really, really innovative. So you see a 1/4 screw there for your standard tripod socket, but watch this. If I take this thing out, and some of you might guess what's going to happen simply by how long it's going to take me to get this thing out of here. If you take out this big, huge post in here, this is, who can identify what this is? This is very, very long. Whew, there we go. That is a microphone stand post. So you can screw this onto a microphone stand. So nice, easy, lightweight, commonly available stand. And then this guy that was 1/4, if you flip it around, it's 5/8/16. So you have all three commonly available methods to attach this thing to it. So there is that. Okay, so 1 hour battery life, totally self-contained. That's all you need. Now, if you add on the boost, again, 10-hour battery life on this thing. This has a little door on the back. You flip up and it reveals all kinds of goodness in here. So let's see what kind of goodness is on the boost. Inside the battery door on the boost, you have an Ethernet port for hardwired connections, so obviously a much more reliable connection to the internet. You have a USB port. This USB port, when it first launched, was only for attaching one of these things, a USB modem. So obviously super useful. We've talked about using these things before with my VideoU Pro. More reliable than relying on your phone's interface, so you've got that. But then they did a firmware update to this device and opened up the USB port for audio. So I've done a little bit of testing with it. We're actually going to connect this today, but I have taken the audio feed off of my mixing board, which has a USB port on it, directly into here, and it works perfectly. You should then also be able to use a little adapter, and this I haven't tested yet, but in theory, there's no reason this shouldn't work. You should be able to take a little adapter like this. Sorry, I didn't get this out in advance here. Like one of these guys, which is a simple, these are like $5 or something, USB to audio input and output. So you should be able to use one of these with any wired or wireless microphone. So then you could take your lav pack, your Sennheiser pack, whatever, your Sony pack, into this, and off you go. So I, again, haven't tested using this, but I have tested using the mixing board, which is really, really cool. Now, if you don't have this, you can still do a dedicated microphone audio input by going into your iPhone. So you could use the iPhone, you could use a wired microphone, you could even use your iPhone headphones, the ones that it comes with, Or you could use any other wired microphone going into there. Of course, you would need to use one of these adapters. We've showed these things off many, many times before. This is the TRRS to TRRS adapter. So anything you want to plug into your iPhone, you need this. And obviously, if you're dealing with an iPhone 7, then you need to also have the Lightning adapter. But you can also use your iPad. So the iPad has a dedicated Mevo app, native, so you get the full size, take advantage of the screen there. Excuse me. And then you have a headphone port still. Hopefully they don't take the headphone port off the iPad, but someone tells me they're going to. So you've got that option. You can, let's see here, what else could you do? If you have the iPhone with if you have the iPhone 7 and you use a Lightning adapter, the Lightning microphone thing, that would work. I don't know if it would work with the wireless ones or any Bluetooth mic on the iPhone. I don't have one to test that, so, but in theory, I suppose that might work. I don't know. That could. I haven't tried that. And yeah, and if you use the USB adapter, you might be able to use a USB adapter on the phone to USB into that. You'd have to try that as well. So a lot of different ways. Point is, you can feed your audio, dedicated audio into the iPhone and it marries them and keeps everything in sync, or you can feed your dedicated audio into the Mevo Boost if you have one of these. So lots of ways to get good audio in. And if you don't do any of that, then the Mevo itself has a microphone on it. Obviously, it's not going to be as good as having a dedicated mic, but you do have that option. There is a mic on there. Okay, so that is that. Anything else I want to talk about in here? That's what's in the stand. You also get a little adapter to put your micro SD into a standard SD card slot. It comes with chargers, obviously. They're already plugged into the wall, so you don't need to look at those, but they're chargers. Okay, I think that's all the pieces. I think that's all the pieces we want to talk about. So before we plug it in and try this thing out, let me see what's going on in the comment room, and let's see if there's anything to address on this. So let's see here. People are talking about solar flares. Yeah, well, that could have been what's causing my glitches here. Oh, and it looks like my health is back up to good, so we're happy there. Martin says, very clever stand options. Someone thought that through. Yeah, I agree. It really is. It was a really, really well-designed setup there. I'm impressed with that, for sure. APN TV says stream went a bit blocky, but it's good now. Okay, good. All right, let's, yeah, it's slowly saying this thing is chock full of great specs. It really is. It really is a nicely specced out little device here. So before we move on here, let's see what I want to tell you about. Hey, don't forget, this is always fun and cool. Don't forget about my upcoming workshop in Mexico, in Oaxaca. If you want to join me and Eric Mindling for an absolutely epic tour through Oaxaca, Mexico, learning all about the culture, the people, the food, and learning about photography and having some insane photo opportunities while we're there, head to PhotoJoseph.com/workshops and check that out. The seats are now available. It's open. Signups are open, and we would love to have you there. Come join us in there. If you pay in full before the end of this month, which I realize is only 5 or 6 days away, you do get a $500 discount off of the price. So if you're thinking about it, don't think too much longer. Sign up now. Pay in full before the end of this month, and you'll save $500, which makes it a $3,500 tour instead of $4,000. So, and honestly, for what we're doing, it's a really good price. It really is a very good price. We pack a lot in for that. That includes basically all your meals. You have a couple times when you're on your own to eat, but you can eat super cheap in Mexico if you want to. And it's all your hotels, all the transportation within the country. And we're bouncing around a bit. We're not just in one place in Oaxaca. We're all over the region. So check that out. Come join us. It's super, super fun. If you go to that page, that PhotoJoseph.com/workshops, you'll be able to see a video about the last workshop that we did in Mexico, in January down there in Mexico, and just how awesome it was. Someone had asked me too about kind of safety and ease of travel, and it's super safe down there. And when we were last down in Oaxaca, it was during the supposed gasoline strikes, and there was concern about, oh my God, there's all this stuff going on. We saw some activity. We saw some people protesting, but there was no problems at all. It's a super safe area. Eric Mindley has lived and worked in Oaxaca for over 25 years, and there's no problems. It's a great area. It's super nice, super friendly, super safe. So join us. Okay, with that, let's go ahead and hook this thing up. So I'm going to, now we get into the live part of the live show to see if everything works. I'm going to attach these devices. So let's see, I don't need this little stand anymore because I'm going to use the Mevo Boost because I want to take advantage of that. So again, this has a little locking thing on it, just like the switch over there, just like the little stand did. So that's now locked into place. This is a power button on the back, so we can hit that to power it up. It tells us how much battery is left on there, and you get some cute little power cycle lights happening on the top of this thing that kind of give you the status of what's happening there. Okay, so that is set up. Now I am going to hardwire this thing because I can. Oops, didn't make this long enough. I am going to hardwire this guy. So let's go Ethernet into the back of this. Let's make sure we get a nice, clean, solid signal. And I'm also going to feed my mixing board, my soundboard, into this because, sorry, I thought I gave myself enough cable reach here. Ooh, cable wrapped up. Give me 1 second here. Because obviously I want to have really good sound on this. And once we're all set up, we're going to actually stream live to my Facebook page. So therein lies the inception part of this, the stream within a stream. Okay, so that is now plugged in. So you see how that works on there. You got your Ethernet, got your USB audio. Oh, I should point out as well. So I mentioned that you can use this. There's only one USB port. What I don't have an answer on this question yet. I've asked Livestream, who makes the device, but I haven't gotten an answer yet, if you can hook up a USB hub to this so that you could use both this and a audio interface. They haven't gotten back to me yet. Obviously, I could just try it, I suppose, but I haven't. So maybe it'll work, maybe it won't, but as I know it works, there's one port, you can use either one. All right, so that is plugged in, and now, I'm just gonna set this over here. Now, let's fire it up on the phone. So take a look at the phone interface. It says, set your iPhone's Wi-Fi network to Mevo 35622. That's interesting because I renamed this thing. How very odd. I renamed it. Why is it? Okay, well, fine. I was not expecting that because I renamed my Mevo. So let's see here. Let's find that wireless network that it has created. In theory, that it has created. Choose network. There we go. Nope, not there. Okay, let's go back to this. Set your iPhone's Wi-Fi network to Mevo. It should have already seen. Let's just quit it and start it again. Because I renamed it to PJ Mevo. Oh, it's probably because it's not on. It's live. What do you want? Okay, I'm going to power this thing up. Hold this down for 2 seconds. Ooh, heard that little sound. It is now powered up. Let's go back to my iOS screen. And couldn't find new Mevo. Just close. Well, it's because it's been waiting and waiting. And it's switched on. And with any luck, oh, come on. This has worked perfectly in every test before this. I love live. Have I mentioned that lately? Oh, there it is. Okay, it found it now. There you go, PJ Mevo, connect. It's only because we're live that this is a problem. Oh, look at that. And there I am. Hey. Okay, so you can see up there, it says you can enable boost Ethernet or LTE connections from the network settings. So let's go ahead and tap into that. Make sure it is. You see there at the top, it is using Ethernet plus Mevo hotspot. And also, if and I realize this is now out of sync. Oh, I need to make sure that that audio is off. Yes, that audio is off. Okay, let me go back to this view for a moment. I am going to, what was I just gonna do? I totally forgot what I was just gonna do. I wonder, actually, if I'm gonna try something here. I didn't even think about this until just now. Because of the sync issue here, I'm gonna see if I can monitor the audio through the phone, disable my audio on here. Okay, bear with me. Let's see if this works. So I'm going to go back to the iOS device. I need to mute this audio. Let's see here. That would be, is that going to work? I got to think this through. Yeah. I think this will work. Okay. Test. Yeah, this is going to work. Okay, I'm going to turn this off. Come back here, turn that on. Yes, that's working. Okay, good. Now I got to take my ears out because it's delayed. So that is awesome. Okay, so we're going to leave it on here for a little bit. So we're now looking at the Mevo interface. You see across the bottom here, I have a bunch of different options. If I tap the X, it closes that out, and we have even more options. I got to admit, the UI is a little bit funky and weird. Could be a little cleaner, I think, but it'll manage. So let's take a look at what we've got for streaming options. First of all, you have this camera assistant thing, which is really neat, but honestly not as reliable as it could be. I think you're better off just doing it by hand. But you have this thing that says find faces. So in a moment there, it'll find a face. In theory, you have this live follow. So as I move around, it can follow the shot, which again, in my initial testing, it worked, but it's not the greatest, fastest thing. And then autopilot, and you can change the speed of the autopilot. And that will basically attempt to follow the action, follow the set, follow what's going on. So you can do any of these things, or you can turn all of these off and just go manual, which is what I'm going to do for this. Then you've got your audio input, so you can choose your audio mixer. Is it coming in from, oh, audio is quite low, you guys are saying. Let's see here. Audio is quite low. It shouldn't be. Oh, that is me. Okay, yes, I'm sorry. There we go. That's better. Now you should have better audio levels. Yeah, let me crank that up even a little bit more. That should be better. Hopefully that's better audio. I forgot that I had the audio down on the mixing board. So that should be quite a bit better. And let me get my, well, you're not going to hear this. Actually, you might be hearing this. Let me get rid of these. Let's make sure we're not getting this on an echo. Okay, so now let's see here. You can change your audio levels in the device as well. Looks like that's a native. I don't want to blast that out. But well, I think test. That's looking pretty good. I guess we could bring that up a little bit. Test. You see the levels there. Okay, and you can see at the top there as well. Oh, it's not using USB audio. There we go. Now we've got the right audio going in. It was using the audio off the Mevo. Okay, so what you were just hearing initially was the built-in microphone. Now you're getting the USB audio. So this should be significantly better now that I've got that configured properly. And of course, you see the iPhone button up there. I could tap over to the iPhone. That's interesting. This is not muted, but I mean, that was muted, but you're still hearing me. Okay, did I just create an echo? That's an interesting thing. Sully's asking, is there a way to remove the phone icons? It seems not to be a clean signal. Okay, well, what you're seeing right now is my interface. You're not seeing the live broadcast stream. So, was just muted. Do you hear me now? Ryan, can you hear it now?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, that was weird. Anyway, all right, so there's that. So now you've got, that's the microphone setup. You've got color setups. You can, I don't know why, you can make it go black and white or vivid or sepia. You can do things like that. Honestly, I don't know why you would do that sort of thing on a live show, but you can if you want to. Okay. Test. Are you hearing me? Now you're hearing me. That was weird. Audio cuts when review. Oh, maybe it was because I went to the video playback. That's why it was running, the audio stopped. That's probably why. Okay. There's a built-in help system that takes you to a bunch of little movies, and then we've got full options in here. You can choose your network setup. You can choose your live streaming platform and so on. So we're going to set this to go to Facebook Live, and it is going to, let's see, destination, PhotoJoseph Studios page, visibility public, quality HD, Facebook chats enabled, embedding, leave that on if someone wants to embed it. And we can name a title on here, so let's give this thing a title. Let's call this, we're going to call this stream live, just that close, that's almost got that, stream live, close enough, done. Okay. So there's that. So that's all set up and ready to go. Advanced settings, you have all kinds of other camera settings in here. You can adjust for exposure, white balance, anti-flicker. You've got all kinds of auto adjust or fixed exposure, lots of different controls in here. Flip the camera around if you're doing something backwards. A lot of different ways to do this. You can change your standard field of view, whether you want it to be a little bit more distorted, fisheye, or flat. And yeah, that's what you got. Okay, so let's go live. So now I am going to tap, so I gotta close this, and now you got this little record button on the bottom left. Oh, actually, before I even go live here, let's do this. Let's set up some shots. So to see the top right corner, you see what will be live. That's the actual show. And then the blue box is what is being seen by the audience. I can pinch in, and it zooms into that. Push that up to me, and you can see how it is zooming around. So if I go toward, let's look at this computer over here, it pans over. Let's go down here, it pans in. Let's pinch that down a little bit more because that's your tightest. That's as tight as it goes. Make it all the way wide, and it zooms out again. What's really cool about this, let's go up here to my face. I'm going to pan down to the table, but I'm going to tap and hold on the screen for a moment. I'm going to tap down and drag, hold down for 1, 2, 3. Notice it hasn't gone live yet. Take my finger off, and then it takes, as long as you held down for it, takes that long to do the pan. So if I want to do a really fast pan over to, a really slow pan over to the other side of the screen, I can drag it over, hold, let go, and then it's going to, once I let go, slowly pan over. Or if I put 2 fingers on the screen, I can drag this around in real time, and I can pinch and zoom out in real time as well. I can also set up shots. So if I go over to my face here and I press and hold on that, you see now there's a little yellow box, that's a shot. I'll press and hold on this over here, that's another shot, press and hold on this here, and that's another shot. Now I can go into the shot view and I can instantly switch between angles. This is what's being broadcast, or will be broadcast, switching between those angles in there. So it makes it really easy to do a full-on live production like that. So now let's go ahead and go live. So I hit the red button, we're going to go to Facebook Live. What's happening? Oh, well, I guess yeah, this. Let's do that. Oh, okay, that works. HD, yep, we want HD quality, that's good. And oops, well, hopefully I hit go. I kind of finger fumbled there, but it must be doing something because I see a spinning wheelio. And with any luck, this is, looks like it's live. Okay, so that appears to be live. Now, let's see here. Now this is going to get really complicated. How am I going? This is ridiculous. If you're watching, if you've got Facebook, got another browser, fire up Facebook, go to facebook.com/PhotoJoseph. I'm going to do this as well. And let's see if I can see it. Facebook.com/PhotoJoseph. And Martin says you can see the live on my Facebook. That is fantastic. So I'm going to bring that up and mute it. Oh, I'm not, I probably should put a shot that's actually on my face. Hey, and Tadas is saying hello on Facebook, so that's awesome. All right, let's go, let me see here. How can I do that? I want to make sure this is muted. Okay, that is muted. All right, let's take a look at the Mac so you can see what's happening there. So there's what that looks like on that. Go back to the iOS device, and I can't do, I should have set up a side-by-side compare, but I can't do that, but that's okay. And that's it. So now if I want to switch live, I can just go to this view, and I can just tap on any one of these shots to jump between them, go to the wide shot, or go back into here and do that. And Sean Mark Nipper is on the Facebook saying, this is crazy. I concur. This is just so crazy cool. People saying that the Facebook quality is great. That's good to hear. Lots of people watching it there. This is so awesome. Having two monitors is super useful for today's stream. Yeah, I would imagine so. All right. So that's what that looks like. I think that is just, it's crazy cool. I'm digging it. Let's see, do I need to show anything else in here? Okay, you can see while you guys are looking at, if you're watching this on YouTube, oh boy, if you're watching this on YouTube, you're seeing the iOS screen, so you see the interface there. You can see the live status over on the bottom left corner. It shows Facebook, shows 15 people on there. If I tap on that button, I slide to stop, so I can't accidentally stop on that, which is pretty slick. I'm digging it. It worked. I love it. All right, let me see how I get back to my, see, I'm going to need to put my ears back in so that I can hear myself, and then switch up some audio. And let's see, let's do that. Let's go to here. Turn back on my sound. Let's switch back to this camera, and we're back in sync. Awesome. It worked. The only fumble was whether it was muted or not. The weird thing was that when I tapped on the interface on here to mute it, it seemed to be opposite. I don't really know why that would be, but that's okay. That's just for monitoring. That muting is just monitoring anyway. So let's see what's happening in the comments here. There's a lot of stuff flying by while I was doing that. Let's see here. So Sully, just to clarify this, Sully had said, is there a way to remove the phone icons? It seems to not be a clean signal. So of course, that's because you were looking at my view, not at the live broadcast view. So that's, that clarifies that, right? So you saw a clean view over on, oops, let me, you saw a clean view on Facebook, which I'm now going to switch this back over. I'm going to leave that up. Let's go a little bit wide on there. So now we've got the live show. So, okay, for anybody who's watching on, let me center this. Let me make this nice and centered so it's reasonably similar to, there we go. Okay, so anybody who's watching on Facebook right now, hopefully everything, yeah, everything's definitely still in sync because the audio is routing through there. So you're seeing this on Facebook, you're seeing a clean signal, and you're seeing what the Mevo is broadcasting. Obviously, that is from the Mevo. I can at any point pinch in and do a little push zoom and stuff like that, which is crazy cool. I'm just gonna leave that out there, leave that for a wide shot for the rest of the show, and just leave that in place. And we go back to addressing the YouTube audience, but I'm gonna leave this Facebook stream running. Okay, so there you see that was what it looks like over on Facebook, so it is very clean over there because it's a clean signal out. Bart says, not getting anything when you switch to iPhone audio. Okay, I think we solved all the audio issues. It just took a little bumbling around getting the right thing set up. Carter is saying, you didn't at PhotoJoseph me, Carter, but I happen to see it. Do you need to have your Livestream account linked to your Facebook account? No. Okay, so Livestream, let's just kind of clarify this. Livestream is a company that does live streaming. I love these generic names. Okay, so Livestream is a company. Livestream is the company that makes the Mevo. Livestream, the company, provides a service where you can, using the Mevo or any other number of devices, stream through them, through their servers. You can pay a monthly fee. They do whatever they do on the back end. And you can, I believe with the live streaming service, you can distribute to multiple stream sources at once. So let's say that I wanted to do a show that streamed out to, you know, Periscope and YouTube and Facebook and all these other things. Without having to build all the back-end stuff that I have built here, I could pay Livestream, the company, and do a stream, one stream to them, and then they distribute. I don't know what else they do. They have other services as well, but that's kind of the idea there. This device can connect to your Livestream account, or you can stream to Facebook. You don't have to go through Livestream, so it's just like any other device streaming to Facebook. You can stream to Periscope, and streaming to YouTube is coming. That's something they announced at NAB, or maybe right before it, but it's not shipping yet. So my interface here does not show. If we go back to this, and I realize it's going to be out of sync now, but if we go back to this and you look at the settings, my live streaming, oh, I can't change it now. I can't get into it. But my options are limited to those three: Facebook, Periscope, and Livestream, the company's own service. YouTube is coming. So once it does come, I'll do another one of these shows where I'll do it entirely from the Mevo to YouTube. So that's going to be part 2 of this, which will come at some point in the future. I think it's coming really soon because it was, I seem to recall them saying a month to 2 months or something when I was at NAB, and it's been almost a month, so I think that's right. Anyway, so there's that. Okay, Silly says, is this like the GH5's 4K live cropping? Yes, it's exactly like that. What it's doing is you've got a 4K signal from the Mevo, and we are punching into that signal to do what it's doing and just panning around in there. So it's exactly like the GH5's live cropping. You also say, if streaming with the GH5, can you do the same thing, crop while live streaming with the ATEM? No, that has nothing to do with the GH5. The ATEM doesn't offer any of that service. I wish they did. I talked to them about that last year, but that's not something that could be added to the ATEM. That would be a hardware add-on. It's not something they've done. There are companies that make dedicated boxes to do exactly what this is doing. So you could have a piece of hardware that you plug in your 4K signal, whether it's a GH5 or anything else, 4K signal into that. And then from that, you create shots just like I did on here. And then that box will output a different shot for every camera angle. So if I wanted to integrate that into my studio here, I would have a separate box or separate interface here that would allow me to switch between those shots that are built from that single camera angle. But then I would have a separate switching to go between my other cameras. And I considered it and thought, yeah, ain't gonna happen. I'd rather just have other physical cameras in here. But it's a great, great, great concept, great idea. If it was built into the ATEM, oh, I would definitely use that. But it's not, so I'm not. Okay, people just confirming that it's all live on Facebook. Oh, sorry, I forgot to bring this chat back up. That it's live on Facebook, that's great. So we're scrolling forward now. What are the upsides of using this kind of device? The upsides, I mean, it's simple, man. It's super simple, it's super lightweight, tiny little device. Remember, the boost is an add-on you don't need. You can just use the tiny little Mevo. You get about an hour battery off of that. With the boost on there, you get 10 hours of battery. But again, as I said in the beginning, if battery is your only concern, you can buy any USB battery brick and plug that into the Mevo and off you go, because it's charged by USB. The boost gives you the addition of having the Ethernet port on there, which I'm using now. It also gives the addition of having a USB audio feed into it. We covered all that at the beginning of the show, so if you missed that, you can scroll back and watch it later. But if you do want dedicated audio through the iPhone, you can do it that way through an audio interface on the iPhone, which is really, really cool. All right, Trevor's saying there's about a half-second delay. You're probably talking about referencing when I'm on that screen versus this, which makes sense, but we should be all good now. Cost. Ooh, very good question, Martin. That is a fabulous question, which I am totally prepared to show you. Let me pull this thing back up on here, go back to my Mac. Okay, so the camera on its own is $399, so $400 for the camera, and that requires you to use your iPhone to control it. I mean, no matter what, you gotta have the iPhone to control it. The setup that I just showed you is the full Mevo with the boost and the case, and that brings it up to $698.26. So that is the camera with the little boost and the carrying case, obviously chargers and everything else in there. So you can buy it either way. So it is a big jump to add on the boost, but if you need that boost, then that's what it costs. If you are interested in purchasing this, I do have affiliate links in the description of the show, so please use those to get to that. Over on the right-hand side of my screen, you can see the Get Mevo website, getmevo.com, if you just want to learn all about it, get the specs on there and so on. But if you do decide to buy one, do me a favor and please head back over to this YouTube show and click the link in the bottom of the show, in the show notes, to do that. That is that. Pretty slick, right? I think it's awesome. I love it. Okay, I am going to cut off the Facebook live stream, which, let's see, I think, are there any of the other comments coming up on there? I should probably look at that. Okay, no other comments came up in there. So let me do this. Let me bring it back to here. And now that I'm going to show you my interface on the iPhone. It's going to go a little bit out of sync while I'm on there. Bear with it. We won't be in there for very long. So back to the iPhone. Close out this interface. Tap on here to stop. Say slide to stop. So I slide to stop. Ooh, this is cool. Keep it in my feed and save to the Mevo SD card. Excellent. So I'm going to hit done on there. And now I'm going to have a backup. Oh, good. So Ryan, you won't have to actually pull down the video file from Facebook. You'll have it on here. Awesome. So I'm going to, let's go back to this now. I am going to upload the Mevo show, the one that was to Facebook. I'll upload that to YouTube separately. So it'll take a little while depending on when you're watching this. Click here to see that if we didn't already. It'll be there. Just trust me. Okay. I think that's everything. There's more in here, I think. There's little things, but that's basically it. Last question. Sean Mark Nipper says, can you charge and use audio at the same time with the additional stand? It's 2 different USB ports. So the answer is yes. So let me go to, let's get this thing over here and bring this back up. So this, the USB-A port, that's the audio port. There's a USB mini micro, whatever the heck that's called. That's your charging port. So that port down there is only used for charging. So I can absolutely do what you're asking. Let's take this and plug it in. And now I basically have, get this the right way. Yes, that's right. Basically have unlimited, right? Because I'm charging and using it at the same time. I think it'll run forever like this. I could be wrong, but I think it'll run forever like this. It might not if it's using more battery. If it's consuming battery faster than it's charging, then you may not be able to basically run this off of the mains. But I would imagine it would at least give you much longer than 10 hours. So I don't know the answer to that. If that's important, look it up on the Mevo website. I love this thing. I am so stoked. This is cool. If they think they're getting this back, they're kidding me. Which incidentally, I should say, this was loaned to me by Livestream Pros, by Luria and David. So again, check them out. I already put a link up here. You can subscribe to their channel. If you're into live streaming, they are the people to follow. They build complete professional setups. If you want to build a live streaming studio, and you can hire them to completely design it and come in and build it for you. They're awesome. So check them out for sure. Okay, we're going to wrap this up. And don't forget, we are going to come right back for the extended commentary where you can ask any other questions you want that might not have been related to this. So with that, don't forget, do the thumbs up thing. Give us the thumbs up if you like the video. And how could you not like today's video? This is pretty awesome. If you don't like the Mevo, don't thumbs down me. It's not my fault. I'm just showing you what they made. So I hope you enjoyed the show. Don't forget to check out as well my GH5 training course. Which I should tell you, by the way. I'm going to play it for you. Hold on. Don't go anywhere. Ryan, take your finger off the button. GH5 training course, gh5training.com. This is, of course, the GH5 training course that I'm actively working on. You can buy this right now at a discount because it's not done yet. It will be done soon, though, so don't take too long to get it. And what I wanted to show you is that I uploaded, let me get a different browser up here. I uploaded 2 sample videos yesterday. Oops, wrong button. 2 sample videos yesterday. And I want to show those to you. I'm going to show you one of them. I'm going to play one of those right now, just in case you haven't seen it. I'm allowed to play my own videos inside of my own videos. That's the way it works. So let's get this on. Let's make sure the audio is on to there. And, got the wrong YouTube account fired up here. Let's switch over to the right YouTube account. I'm so stoked when this came out. So the sample file, I'll play you the shorter one in here that's already up here. It's, I won't play the whole thing. It's 4 minutes. I'll play the whole thing. Why don't you got 4 minutes, right? Sure you do. I'll play the whole thing, and when we come out of this, we're going to wrap the show, so, but do stick around for the commentary. All right, let's switch back to this screen, and here we go. Oop, unmute. There we go. With the GH5, as with many digital cameras today, you can choose to either view your image through the viewfinder or through the LCD on the back. With mirrorless cameras, you have the advantage of, instead of just seeing what the camera sees through the viewfinder, you actually see what the camera is going to record. So if you are to, let's say, under or overexpose the image, or change the color, or even go into black and white mode, you'll see that both through the viewfinder and on the LCD on the back. You can swap between them at any time you like manually, or you can have the camera do it for you automatically. So let's say, for example, that you prefer to shoot through the viewfinder. So you want to be able to pick up the camera to your face and see the image through here. But then as soon as you pull the camera down, you want to be able to see the image that you just shot on the LCD on the back. Well, there's a couple things you'll want to do. First of all, we're going to want to flip the LCD around so that it is now exposed. Now you can get to this at any time. As I put this up to my face, a small sensor built into the viewfinder is automatically going to switch modes. And you can see that here. If I just kind of put my finger over this little sensor there, you'll see that the image has disappeared from the LCD and then come back again. That tiny little sensor there is what is looking for that movement. Now, if you don't like it switching automatically, you can turn that off. You can set it so that it is always through the viewfinder, always on the LCD, or automatic. And in fact, if you close the LCD panel, then no matter what mode it's set to, you're going to see the image through the viewfinder. And of course, only through the viewfinder, because the LCD isn't even accessible. Let's flip this back around. And on the back of the camera, next to the play button, you'll see a little function button that when you push that will cycle through the different modes. It is now viewing just through the viewfinder. Now it is just on the LCD on the back. And if I hit it one more time, you'll see a message come up that says LVF/monitor auto. That's the auto mode that's allowing you to toggle between them. So why would you want to have an articulating LCD in the first place? Well, one of the reasons you've already seen is simply protection. The fact that I can flip this around and have access to the LCD, or close it the other way and protect it, is pretty great. But it's also so that I have a bunch of different ways that I can view my image. So for example, in our traditional shooting mode, we can just hold the camera out in front of us and see the image. But I could also flip it out and look down on it, so I can hold it waist level. I could flip it up and hold it over my head, allowing me to shoot over the heads of a crowd or something like that. Or I could flip it all the way around, so that if you're shooting selfies, whether you're doing a still image or maybe vlogging, or setting up a scene. Let's say that you're in a studio and you're setting up the camera and you need to run back to somewhere else to change the set. Instead of having to go back and forth, you can actually look over and see the image on the viewfinder. That's pretty cool as well. And if you find that every time you put your hand near the screen, the LCD is turning off when you're in the auto mode, you can actually adjust the sensitivity of this little sensor on the back. So let's take a look at how to do that. Go into the menu, and under the custom menu button, that's the wrench without a C on it, go to the right, and on page 2 of 4, you'll see it says eye sensor. Click on that, and you can swap the sensitivity from low to high, making it either more or less sensitive. You'll notice underneath that you have that LVF/monitor switch as well. And this does the same thing as that function button on the back does, cycling through the different modes, but you can set it here if you want to. Finally, there's one more really cool use of having the LCD on the back. Even if you're shooting with your eye up to the viewfinder, like so, you can actually use your thumb on the screen here as a trackpad to move the focus point around, allowing me to position that focus point anywhere that I want within my scene while my eye is up to the viewfinder. That is incredibly cool. It really allows you to very, very quickly and accurately dial in exactly where you want to focus on the scene. So the viewfinder and the LCD working together are quite powerful. Once you come to understand how they work and how to set them, you'll find that the combination of the two is an incredibly powerful tool. So there we go. That's the sample video. What do you guys think? Does it look all right? Does it look good? Did it come out okay? I want to know what you think. Someone pointed out a mistake that I made. You know I'm not perfect. What are you going to do? There's going to be mistakes. You deal with it. So if you're interested in that course, don't forget you can head over to GH5. I'm going to pull this up on my screen here. GH5training.com, which of course will allow you to pre-order this thing. It is let me get the right screen up. Okay, now I got too many things on the monitor. There we go. GH5training.com, the pre-order, that is right there, is for $59 is the pre-order. But of course, remember that this is also going to be available on lynda.com. There's a whole section here that talks about the advantages of watching it at Lynda versus the advantages of purchasing it directly from here. And of course, there's the video that you just saw and another sample video in there. And a full and complete table of contents, subject to change, but so far I've been sticking pretty much to it. I've only rearranged a couple things in there. So yeah, guys, I hope you enjoy it. I hope for those of you who are into the GH5 are checking that out. And remember, even if you're a Lumix shooter and you're not a GH5 user, I would say probably, like, I don't know, 75-ish% or so is going to be relevant to all Lumix cameras. So there is that. Okay, now we're going to get out of here and then come back for the commentary. All right, see you guys next time. Bye-bye.